There are many mantras that I have in my life, and mantras are affirmations or statements of conviction that I use to lift my spirit and to lift myself. I call them my joy triggers. And one of those is the whole notion of think it, believe it, own it, TBO. And I might be saying some things that people might find very controversial or not agree with, but it's my belief, and it's the belief that I have used to coach and mentor hundreds of people around the world in terms of helping them to realize their full potential, helping them to unshackle that potential and to create amazing in their lives. When I talk about think it, what I mean is that you need to realize that your thoughts are the most powerful forces in this world. The thoughts that God has put in your head are indeed the most powerful things that have ever been created. And because these thoughts are so powerful, it is incumbent on us to ensure that we materialize these thoughts. So when you think of something, don't think too low. Always think much bigger, much wider. So if you think that you can you want to become a real estate agent, as one of my clients thought, and all he wanted to become was to become the best real estate agent he could ever become. Think of why not owning the real estate company, and once your dream is much bigger and you start working towards that, then you will become the best real estate agent. And then after you have achieved that, then you'll start working towards the much bigger picture. That is what I talk about when I say think it. Think much bigger than where you are. Think much bigger than where you are thinking. Think much wider, much deeper, much farther. And once you think it and you have clarity in terms of that vision and that thought, then you need to start believing it. And believing it is all about getting that feeling inside of when you have achieved it. It's almost as if you want to buy a new car. You think about the feeling of driving that new car down the highway or the smell of that new car. And what that does is that it helps to create chemical changes in your body. The endorphins start to increase, and you start feeling that sense of being alive and that sense of great achievement. But along with that belief also comes faith, and the whole notion of having that unwavering faith that what you are believing will come to pass. What you are believing will be achieved. And therefore, in anything that you do, if you think that you can become a rocket science, think it. Think much larger than that. Think that you are going to be the first man to land on Mars. But you also have to have that belief, that faith, that unwavering faith and trust that you are going to achieve it. But thinking and believing alone is not going to make it happen. You also have to take action. And that is what I talk about when I say own it. When you own it, you take decisive action towards achieving that dream and towards achieving what you believe in. Taking decisive action means you take the steps that are necessary. You plan that journey. You make the process known clearly in your head and to others. So in other words, you have to write it out. You have to do what I call that vision roadmap, looking at where is it that I want to be, where am I now, and then planning those 7 or 8 steps in terms of how do I get from where am I now to where I want to be. You also need to look at the obstacles that you need to overcome. And when you write those 7 to 8 steps in terms of from where you are now to where you want to be, those steps will help you to overcome those obstacles. That is how you create success. That is how you create amazing. That is how you make changes and make quantum leap in your life. And don't think that this is something that is going to happen like that overnight. It's a process. And we all need to understand that our success is a journey. It's a journey that we're on. And all we need to do is just to take that first step. You know, I tell people all the time, if you're climbing a staircase, or if you're going up a set of stairs, you're not seeing the top of the stairs all the time. You are just taking that step one at a time in faith. You think that you're going to get to the top. You believe you're going to get to the top. You're trusting every time you take that step. Those steps that you're taking are the actions that you're taking towards achieving that objective. I implore you to look at, how am I thinking today? Am I thinking too low? Am I aiming too low? Am I not reaching far enough? If you aren't, try and think much farther. Try and reach much further. Try and aim much bigger than where you're aiming right now. On top of that, start having that belief that you can actually get to where you're thinking. Start having that feeling of once you own that business and you're that successful entrepreneur. You know, start seeing yourself in that office that you dream of as being the successful business person. But also just know that you also have to trust and have faith in the process. Trust and believe that you will get there. It is not your responsibility how you get there. It is your responsibility to think and believe that you will get there. Leave the how you get there to God. And also, if you trust and you believe in that process, the actions that you take will be those thoughts that will be downloaded to you. You will be on that frequency where you will be given the instructions in terms of the actions that you need to take. And it's those actions that you take that will help you to get to where you want to be. So think it, believe it, own it, and you will see tremendous change in your life and tremendous change in people around you and tremendous change in the legacy that you will be able to leave on this earth.